Hello, Humanities 100 students. This is your teacher, Professor Marsha Robinson, checking in with you to give you a little bit of a guidance towards selecting your artifact this week. As you know, in the assignment 2-2 short answer that is called Seeing Your Artifact in a New Light, you will be selecting 2 to 3 artifacts and then narrowing down to one artifact and answering 5 questions about that. Just to be sure, I want to let you know that an artifact is a one-of-a-kind thing that is humanly created for an artistic purpose. It is not created for functional purposes. For the purposes of this course, this artifact is not based on your own personal profile or experiences. This artifact must be able to be researched because it's going to be used in your final project 1 and 2. So without further ado, I'm going to show you some of my favorite works of art through ages and let you see some things that might be considered an artifact for the purposes of this course. Let's take a look. The first place would be very obvious, the Great Pyramids of Giza. Very well-known structures and of course part of our ancient Egyptian history. Moving on from there, we have ancient Greece, the Nike victory of Samothrace. I got to see this in the Louvre. It's beautiful. The bronze warriors, the Buriachi warriors that were discovered in ancient Greece. Other structures, the Parthenon, or even the Roman Colosseum. These all would be wonderful artifacts to select for your topic. The Column of Trajan, and of course literary works like the Epic of Gilgamesh or the Homer's Iliad or Odyssey. Stonehenge, the Shi-Huang-Di terracotta warriors. Let me see if I can adjust my slide down a little bit. There we go. The Shi-Huang-Di terracotta warriors. Great selection. Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, Turkey. The Book of Kells illuminated manuscript. And the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. I got to see this before the fire. It's quite lovely and it's still, of course, a great thing to research for your artifact. Literary arts like the Dante's Divine Comedy, the Boccaccio Decameron, one of my favorite works, Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. Medieval art by Giotto and by Martini as shown here. Giotto, the Lamentation on the Arena Chapel in Padua. I love this painting because even the angels are expressing emotion. It's pretty cool. Going on there, I have Renaissance masters, and of course my screen is a little bit cutting off. There we go. Things like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, I know you've heard of them, and of course the famous David on the left, or the Pieta. Anything on the Sistine Chapel, of course, if you chose something from the Sistine Chapel ceiling, I would suggest maybe one image there, like the creation of Adam, something like that. Leonardo da Vinci, Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, Vitruvian Man, all great examples of artifacts. All right, going into the Renaissance, some are secular works like the Botticelli Primavera or the Titian Reclining Nude, there to the lower bottom. And I have School of Athens by Raphael. And these are unusual works of the Renaissance, The Triumph of Death by Peter Bruegel the Elder, or The Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch. You got to see those works. They are amazing. El Greco's Resurrection, Melancholia by Dürer. William Shakespeare, I'm sure you've heard of him before. Of course, any of his works would be worthy of an artifact choice. And Bernini sculptures, The Ecstasy of St. Teresa, Apollo and Daphne. Amazing sculptures. Caravaggio paintings, and the emotion that's created by the use of light and dark. To the left, I have The Calling of St. Matthew, and then the Bacchus to the right. Rembrandt paintings, again, the use of dramatic images of dark and light. The Night Watch on the left, Rembrandt self-portrait on the right. These are just some suggestions. Some Peter Paul Rubens works, Poussin, The Rape of the Sabine Women, The Swing by Fragonard, The Hall of Mirrors at the Palace at Versailles in France. I got a chance to go there. Amazing. Neoclassical art. And I need to move my screen up again. See if you can see that there. Angelica Kaufman, the Cornelia, mother of Gracchi, pointing to your children as treasures. And the David work by The Oath of Harati. Romanticism in art, and on the left, Francisco Goya, The 3rd of May, the J.M.W. Turner, The Slave Ship. I wish I had time to explain the images and what was going on here, but very emotional works. The Josine Delacroix, Liberty Leading the People. Realism works, Millet, The Gleaners on the left, or Courbet, Stonebreakers on the right. You'll be learning about those in some future modules. Impressionism, movement, color, and almost a little abstract. You have Monet on the left, The Impression Sunrise, Renoir, The Luncheon of the Boating Party on the right. Impressionism, not just that, we have Post-Impressionism and the works of Vincent van Gogh. I'm sure you've heard of him. Of course, The Starry Night, a very famous, iconic work. Gauguin, The Yellow Christ. Iconic world structures like the Eiffel Tower in Paris or the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, Spain. Memorials are great for this artifact project. They can be something like the U.S. Marine Corps Memorial in Washington, D.C., or the Martin Luther King Memorial there, as well as something like the Oklahoma City bombing memorial. Great, profound works that have impacted culture. Works of Picasso, and we have the Demoiselles to the left and the Guernica to the right. Munch, The Scream, Klimt, The Kiss, Hopper, The Nighthawks, The Gross Clinic by Eakins, Matisse and the Red Studio. You can see the very bright Fauves color there, The Goldfish, Surrealism, Salvador Dali, The Persistence of Memory, or Magritte the Lovers. Photography. These are two iconic photos. One on the left, Migrant Mother from 1936, a quintessential photograph from the Dust Bowl era. On the right, you can see the shooting of the Kent State shooting there in May 4th of 1970. Works of construction that are temporary, like the Gates Project in New York City. Pop art by Andy Warhol, the Campbell Soup. You've probably seen that before, or maybe the Maryland Diptych. Abstract Impressionism by Jackson Pollock. And of course, as a musician, I could not leave out music as being a way to choose an artifact. And here are just a few samples of some songs that I feel that really reflect the cultural context and also have made a profound impact on culture. And these are just a sampling of many others that I could even list, but just to give you some things to think about. And of course, the street artist Banksy and his work. So these are just a few topics. I would also maybe add the Harlem Renaissance and maybe some literary works from that and some painters, musicians. There are just so many things to choose from, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what an artifact might be, something that is created for an artistic purpose and something that is one of a kind and very unique, but something that is not created for a function. So I hope this helps, and please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or concerns.